Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well,
All right, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Wednesday evening, broadcasting live from the B-Level Entertainment Studio. I am your host, B-Level, and today we are doing On the Level with B-Level, where we are talking to extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. Now, before I bring my guest up front tonight and have some conversation, got a couple of announcements that I want to make sure that I tell you guys about. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is UTB, the Unpacking the Baggage, is celebrating our 100th episode. And so this Sunday at 5 o'clock on September the 7th, we are doing a live taping, which means we're going to tape our show and in front of a live audience on this Sunday at September the 7th at 5 p.m. Now, keep in mind, we normally start at 7. This week, we are starting at 5 o'clock, at a clubhouse at 4401 46th Street, East 40th Street in North Little Rock. It is free. We're going to have free hors d'oeuvres. We're going to have free food. Come prepared to conversate. Come prepared to be on camera. We are going to read comments as we normally do, but we're going to concentrate on the audience. So come apart and be of our live audience. Now, again, I want to let you guys know that we do this On the Level with B-Level every Wednesday. Today, we've got our guest, Mark Cannon, we're going to have some great conversation with him. He is running for the sheriff seat in Jefferson County. So we're going to have some conversations with him. And then we have our future guest that is on this calendar throughout the month of September. I do want to say one of my biggest guests ever is coming on this Monday to celebrate our 100th episode. I am going to have conversation with the mayor, Frank Scott Jr. on the podcast this Monday. It's going to be a special edition. I am geared to talking to extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. So he's going to come on and celebrate my 100th episode on this Monday. It's a special edition. And so make sure you set your calendars for Sunday at 5 o'clock and Monday at 7:30. Now, let me go ahead and bring my guest up front. He is with us. Good afternoon, Mr. Cannon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, man, I am greatly excited to have you on the platform. Again, welcome. This segment that I started on Wednesday is to talk to extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I absolutely think that you are an extraordinary person. You are doing a lot of work in that Pine Bluff community. And I just want to, first of all, thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us. And welcome to the show, our guest, Mark Cannon. So, Mark, it looks like you've been busy lately.
I have, extremely.
I want to start off before we get into the fire and before we get into the smoke. Oftentimes you do a live and I get on your live and I see thousands of people listening to your conversation, literally thousands. But I want to start off getting people to know who Mark Cannon is, right? The man behind the madness, the man behind the work, the man behind everything you do. My first question that I'm going to jump right on in here that I have to ask is, in a nutshell, who is Mark Cannon?
Well, I guess I could surmise it in a few words. Mark Cannon is compassionate, empathetic, sympathetic, sometimes a little bit high strung. I'm a go-getter. I'm a team player, and someone who truly and genuinely cares about his constituents, more so the community. And I want to be the change that I want to see. I'm going to be the change that I want to see.
Good. For those of you guys who are tuning on, we're talking to Mark Cannon. I need you guys to do me one huge favor and share this live. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the share button. Share the live. And if we have time, we might be able to get some of your questions on at the end. We've got a whole slew of questions that I'm going to ask Mark. So at the end, if we have time, we can take some questions from the audience. But so you said that you are who you are. Are you from Pine Bluff area? Are you born and raised Pine Bluff?
No, born and raised in Phillips County, Arkansas. Helena, West Helena.
Okay. How did you get to Pine Bluff? from Helena?
I knew you was gonna answer that question. Um, Actually, it was a woman, my wife.
Okay.
Um, I met her, when I opened up my business here 25 years ago, and
Hmm.
we met, and I decided to, because I was commuting from North Little Rock to Pine Bluff daily. So
Okay.
when I met her, it gave me a reason to relocate.
Okay. Cool. Now you talked about owning a business. You do have a business. What is the name of your business?
The name of the business is Popcorn and More, and I'm
Okay.
located at the McCain Mall in North Little Rock.
Okay. Cool. So let's talk about who Mark is. Now, as I said, I oftentimes I follow you, and oftentimes you do a lot of work in the community that people see, but people don't see. I have witnessed you talk about sending people your own money to help them get through things. I have witnessed people come on, help you figure out rape victims. I see you going to bats for children. I see you doing live to help different people out. Is that what you're calling voice for justice? Is that what the voice for justice is?
Yeah, in the sense that I've learned that people need a ventilation port. They need to be able to get out what's been trapped inside them for many, many years,
Hmm.
sometimes decades, and
Hmm.
they aren't able to articulate or put it in a way that it would. How can I put this? Make sense or sound intellectual, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So a lot of times people are afraid because they
Right.
just don't know how to go about it, or they don't know what to do. That's
Right.
why in it I make sure that they cross their T's and dot their I's. They do what they need to do in order
Hmm.
for me to help them. I may say
Hmm.
something like, help me help you. I need
Right.
for you to, if you have a problem with the police officer, for
Right.
instance,
Right.
uh, filed a complaint with internal affairs. No, I haven't. I didn't know I could do that. Yes, you can. If you feel like your rights have been violated, you make a complaint. Once you file your complaint, then I'll go from there to ensure that your complaint is followed through. Your
Right.
complaint is not going to fall by the wayside. Um, what
Well, yeah,
have
you have, as I said, Mark, you have a very in your face approach, a no nonsense type approach. Sometimes that's offensive to others, right? I mean, that you would you say that you've been known to rub some people wrong? Is that a fair statement with your approach sometimes because you're so of a no bullshit type? I say what I mean what I say, and sometimes people want you to play the politics. Do you play the politics, Mark? Are you a politician player?
I'm not. I'm straightforward. I'm not a politician. I've never desired to be in politics. Um, it's like this. An old man told me about 30 years ago, he said, a
Mhm.
coward dies 1,000 deaths, a soldier dies but once. I'm willing to, and I have, and I continue to put my life on the line for people that I've never met, people that I just met. Once I ascertain the information and I'm sure of what I know, then I'm going all out. I mean, I think Dr. Martin Luther King said it best. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So, you know, if it means I have to sacrifice myself by falling on that sword for what's right, then I'm prepared.
I've seen you put accusers of child molestation on your social media. I've seen you've put their face out there. I've seen people contact you and you're able to go on and put their face out there. Let me ask you this. How do you go by fact checking before you go and plaster somebody's face out? How do you fact check in order to make sure that you are not destroying innocent people?
That's a great question, Brian. I'm glad you asked me that. I revealed about 5, 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, probably six. I'm a victim of child abuse. Um, I was sexually assaulted as a child. So I know the signs and symptoms. I know what to look for. I know which questions to ask. And I'm looking at facial expressions. I'm also listening. All it requires is a listening ear and to be genuine. And people know they can sense uh, your genuineness when they talk to you. So, as a victim of abuse, sexual assault, child molestation, I understand. So, I know what to look for. And
Mhm.
before I would ever put a jacket on someone like that, I'm gonna do everything in my power to ascertain the information to the best of my ability, and then go to the accuser, give him or her an opportunity to speak. But a lot of times it's the victim's age, and you got to look at the intellectual level. Um, when a child, the age of 3 or 4, tells you that someone placed their or put their private part in their mouths or put their private part between their legs, and they're able to articulate specifically what was done to them, that's it's not typical for a child
Mhm.
to use those terms. And then I'm also ensuring that the victim or victims have been medically cleared or checked to make sure there's an actual violation. Because I do know there are people who are upset with a certain person, maybe an ex-spouse or a mate, that they will put an allegation on them just to get them in, per se, quote unquote, trouble. And they'll use
Mhm.
the child as a scapegoat. So I also ensure that all T's are crossed and I's are dotted before I put that jacket on a person. Because, like I said, when you talk to the victim, there are certain things that you look for, you listen for. As a children's
Mhm.
advocate, you know that some things cannot be fabricated. And I
Wow.
work with the Children's Advocacy Center out of Little Rock, as well as Pine Bluff.
Mark, would you say that you didn't choose this work, that this work chose you? Obviously God put certain people in different people's lives to help them through things. Did you want to be somebody who was doing this type of work when how did you come in? How did this happen? Like, how did you become the voice of the justice? How did this happen for you?
Well, honestly, Brian, I got tired of sitting back, being a bystander.
Mhm.
I grown weary and frustrated, and I said, why not me? You know,
Right,
like you alluded to a moment ago, I didn't choose this; it chose me.
right.
Therefore, no fear. I have absolutely no fear. I have only ambition, and
Hmm.
I will stop at nothing to get justice. Nothing.
Right, right,
I have no fear. So I didn't set out to be the voice for justice or the face for those who've been assaulted or abused or what have you. It kind of fell into my lap. So it chose me. I didn't choose it. And it's only so long that you can run away from your actual calling. So I know for a fact, because I've been told by men, by women, as well as men, I love what you do. I love you. I respect what you do. I just don't have the heart or the wherewithal to do. I don't know how you do it and run a business and have a family and try to lead a normal life and do what you do. Not everyone can walk in my shoes. There was only one Martin Luther King. There was only
right,
one Malcolm X. Then there's only
right,
one Cannon.
right. This work, as I've seen your movement and things that you get involved with, oftentimes get dangerous.
Of course,
Are you ever afraid that things are going to happen to you, happen to your family, happen to your loved ones for the work that you're doing? Do you ever think about that?
I do, but I don't like to use the word, but I do think about that. I also realize that I'm doing God's work and I'm in God's hand. Whatever's meant for me, que sera, sera. If it's to be, it's to be. So I don't dwell on that. I can't allow that I won't allow that to be my focus. I take one day at a time. I look forward to the future because the past is all behind me. And Brian, I must say this: if I could change the past, I had a sister who was a victim of domestic abuse, who was kidnapped from Walmart and held in Phillips County in 1992. She was robbed, um, she was raped, and she was shot 3 times. So whatever whatever's meant for me is meant for me. No one nor anyone can stop it. And so I
Yeah.
take it one day at a time, brother. One day at a time.
How do you protect yourself? How do you stop vicious people doing vicious things? Obviously, this work can get unpopular when you go to your accusers and you're being the way you be. How are you able to protect yourself? Do you have security with you?
Well, I don't have physical security. Um, and I'm not trying to get all scriptural or religious on you, Brian, but I believe in a God that sits high and looks low. His
Mm,
spirit is with me every single day. And,
right.
and some people are going to gawk when I say what I'm about to say. Um, God does not walk with me, Brian. He carries me. So with
Hmm.
him, all things are possible. Without him, nothing is possible. So I'm in God's hand. They can't touch me. I mean, there's a shield. His Holy Spirit is with me. So I don't worry because that's a mere distraction. If I
Right.
concern myself and consume myself with who doesn't like me, who hates me, who wants to do something to me, no work would be done because I'd be too afraid. No work would ever get accomplished.
What do you say to the people that say you cause havoc? What are the people that you say that you just keep up bullshit? What are the people that say that
He's
you're not
messy.
doing?
He's
Yes. What do
messy.
you say?
He's always in somebody's business. He's
Yeah.
messy.
Yes. What do you say to those people that say those things?
I would say check the source. You have to look at the people who's disgruntled, who's upset with me. And I promise you, Brian, if you ask those persons or people or persons, what has he done to you personally?
Mhm.
How has what he done affected you? Has he ever targeted anyone that wasn't warranted?
Right.
They cannot answer. They can't give you a legitimate answer because I've done absolutely nothing. You know, it's like this darkness hates the light. I don't care how big of a light is. If you shine a flashlight, your camera light off a cell phone, it will illuminate any room. So darkness hates the light. So those that have hatred in their heart, all I can do is pray for them and pray they stay out of my way and we don't cross paths because it'll be a bad misunderstanding. Now I'm not backing down from anyone. Now if I can remove myself from a certain situation, I'll do just that. But if you think you're going to bully me, since school I've never liked bullies. So if you think you're going to bully me into submission, you're dealing with the wrong person. I've been doing what I've been doing, speaking boldly and loud. They have not shut me up. I will not stop. I will not quit. It's a necessary work that needs to be done. Evil exists, whether people want to accept it or not. Also, good exists. So you have to have something to combat the negativity. And that's why I don't listen to negativity. They printed out shirts of me 3 or 4 years ago. They call me the king of block. I block people on social media, not because I'm one-sided. I don't want to hear what they have to say. As long as they're respectful, I welcome anyone with open arms. But if you're going to be nasty and derogatory and make it personal, it's my page, it's social media. If you don't like it, create your own platform and say what you must. Because if I honestly focus on the negative things that were said about me, Brian, I would have quit 5, 6 years ago. I would have quit. 7,
Mhm.
8 years, I would have quit.
Right.
So there are more good out there than bad. And there are more people that support me than those who are against me.
Right.
That's
Right.
one of the things that keeps me going because I know and feel the love. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been loved before, Brian?
Absolutely.
Have you ever had someone to say, hey, Brian Stewart, man, I love you, or baby, I love you so much, and you felt it in your bones, the very core
Absolutely.
of yourself?
Absolutely.
Have you ever been told that and you knew it was not genuine?
Absolutely. I have.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I wish his or her speech was in harmony with their actions? You're
Right.
telling me, I
Yeah,
believe
whether it's good
that,
or bad. Yes.
yeah, so should I believe what you say or should I believe what I see?
Yeah. What you
Right.
see and what I do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that. So there are those who genuinely love me, and they've been very supportive. And for them, and for those who are watching, I ask along with Brian, please share this live. this live stream, this podcast, share it. It gives you a better insight on me as an individual. I'm the same way on social media as I am in person. I'm genuine, and people sense that. They know that. They can feel the love, even through these mechanical electronic devices that we're using and utilizing tonight. They feel it. They know that I'm genuine. I told them before. I'll reiterate the point again. When they elect me sheriff, if something is going on within that department, especially that jail, when I know, they will know. Always
For
be
those,
transparent.
for those of you guys who are tuning in, we are talking to Mark Cannon, having conversation with him tonight. We're talking to extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. Mark, well, let's start talking about, I'm glad you talked about the sheriff, running for sheriff. I want to kind of move from the personal to professional. You've decided to put your name in the race for the sheriff of Jefferson County. Why did you decide, with all of the other work that you're doing, why did you get fed up and decide that you wanted to be the next sheriff for Jefferson County?
As the sheriff of Jefferson County, the sheriff is the chief executive law enforcement officer for the county, the entire county. That includes the city as well. The two most powerful positions in any county, any city, number one is the sheriff. Number two is the prosecuting attorney.
Right.
I know some legal jargon, but I'm not an attorney. What I do know, despite being said he has no law enforcement experience, number one, the sheriff's role is an executive position. It's an administrative position, rather. And you're just telling people what to do. You've never seen on any news station where the sheriff was in hot pursuit, entered into a house and brought out 3 suspects, or had to kill a suspect. You don't see that. That's why you have deputies. It's an administrative position. It's the highest power, highest position in the county outside of the prosecuting attorney's office. Now, am I licensed? Do I have law enforcement experience? Am I a certified law enforcement officer? No, I am not. But after the people elect me as sheriff, I can guarantee them that I'm going to their training academy and to get certified. I already carry as we speak. So I want to get my certifications because I never know. But it's an executive position. It's an administrative position. That's it. That's why you have a co-sheriff, the deputy sheriff, and then you have other sheriffs. You have, you got the sheriff, you got the undersheriff, which is his the person that's right below the sheriff. It's an executive position, and the sheriff is responsible for the sheriff department. The sheriff is also responsible for the juvenile detention center. He's also responsible for the Jefferson County Detention Center. So he's over the adults as well as the juvenile, as well as the sheriff department. It's a weighty responsibility that should not be taken lightly, nor taken for granted, nor abused.
So, Mark, what's wrong with our current administration in the sheriff department? What's wrong with it? Where are there room for improvement?
On my page, when I announced my candidacy a few months ago, I stated FACT, fact. Fair, accountability, consistency, and transparency. I saw with our current sheriff, I think I sent you a picture. You may have a picture of the sheriff, Lafayette Woods.
Yep.
He announced in his new candidacy that he was going to be more transparent. You've had 7.5 years to be transparent. So why start now? Why now? That should have been from day one, being transparent. The current administration lacks accountability. They lack transparency. We don't know until months later or years later, if we know then. We've had numerous people to die in his jail. Numerous people to die in his jail. You just posted a picture of our current sheriff, and in capturing his face is a picture of a young lady who was murdered in a different state. I met her father. Her name is Sonia Massey. Now, it was a travesty and tragedy what happened to Mrs. Massey. She was murdered in her own home by some deputy sheriffs.
Right.
Here's the thing. We've had too many people to name that have been murdered in Jefferson County, that have been murdered in Pine Bluff. And the sheriff has never put that on his page in the last 8 years. I know for a fact we've had 200 or more homicides since he became sheriff. He's never posted their picture on his page. That right there was for publicity. No offense to the Massey family or Mr. Wilborn, but you have people who are being murdered in your own backyard, and you don't acknowledge the murder individual, nor do you acknowledge the family. But yet you acknowledge a young lady who was murdered out of state. Make it make sense. To me, that's like feeding your neighbors before you feed your own family.
Right.
You take care of your back, you take care of family first. Even if a person came up to you and they were hungry, and you got 5 kids sitting at the table, they're ready to eat. You don't disperse food to these people, a homeless person or people, before you feed your children because they're hungry too. Now you feed your family, hey, I got 2 pieces of chicken left and a slice of bread, you're welcome to it. But you make sure your family is straight first. To me, that was a slap in the face to all the constituents of Jefferson County. That's not doctored, that's not altered, that's not AI, that's an actual photograph from the sheriff department's page that he posted, recognizing, acknowledging a loss of life in a whole different state. Make it make sense.
So you're saying that there have been plenty of people that have died in the jail that he's over. There have been plenty of people in the Jefferson County die at the hands of law enforcement, get hurt in the hands of law enforcement, and there is not a true transparency conversation, whether it be a live or a chief update. Does he not have those things in his administration?
He has access to every amenity that you just stated. Let me tell you something, Brian. Let me get a little bit closer to this camera so you can get a clear picture of me. Let me say this right here. Whew. When you care, it shows. And it shows when you care. When you have individuals who don't give a damn about people, don't you understand people can feel it? If I pulled out my cell phone and showed you right now, I got over 2,600 text messages. I got over 8,000 emails. I have over 3,000 messages on Messenger. I have over 700 missed phone calls. You understand me? People are calling on me for a reason. They are calling on me from every corner of the state of Arkansas, north, east, south, west. If you want to include central, you can include central Arkansas. They are calling me from Mississippi, from Tennessee, from Texas, from Oklahoma to Alabama to Florida to Provo, Utah. I didn't even know that place existed. Provo, Utah, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Zaire, Africa, Sri Lanka. So you tell me, I must be doing something right when I got people calling me, imploring me for my help, for my assistance throughout, not just Arkansas, the country, the nation, international, Africa, Sri Lanka, Canada, the United Kingdom. That resonates. So I must be doing something right.
If there are people that are being hurt,
right. I can do 99 things right and do one thing wrong. They're going to pounce on me. They're going to beat me up. The same people that speak negatively about Mr. Mark Anthony Cannon, I've helped them. They've reached out to me. I've fed them. I've given them money. I've put them in a hotel. I've paid for gas. I bought food. They're not going to tell you that. They're pissed off at me because I exposed their brother for raping a 3-year-old child. But when it's knocking on your front door, Now you need Mark Cannon. Why aren't you calling the people that you talked to about Me Too?
Right.
Why aren't you calling the law enforcement? Because why aren't you calling the sheriff, the current administration? Because they don't care. See, if it's not making money for them, they don't want to entertain it. They don't want to entertain it at all.
If people are getting hurt in the jail, you've had, deputies hurting people. Why isn't the Arkansas State Police involved in this, to looking into this administration, looking into the jail? Why are those things continuing to be covered up?
Because most folk here, can I say a curse word?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Most people in Pine Bluff are scared shitless. They're scared. They are afraid of law enforcement. There are people that have information on homicides. Look at me. There are people that have facts, proof on homicides, but they're afraid to come forward because they fear retaliation. They fear reprisal. They fear of being locked up. Why? Because they got warrants. They got warrants. They got old fines. I know if I go to the police, they're going to run me and I'm going to get locked up. So because of that, they go in silence. People have been beaten in the jail. People have been sexually assaulted in the jail. People have been stabbed in the jail. People have been jumped by multiple detainees in the jail. People have been murdered in the jail. Case in point, Desmond McBride was an 18-year-old male who was extradited from Jacksonville, Arkansas to Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Within a week or so of being in the jail, he was beaten to death. He was beaten to death. Do you have that picture I sent you?
Is that this one?
18-year-olds don't just fall dead.
Is that one?
Hey, there's his mugshot. You look at the picture in the suit and tie. He has knots all over his face. I gave it my due diligence. I instructed his mom what to do. I was able to ascertain the information. I got the run sheet from the emergency response team, the paramedics. When Desmond McBride body was received by the paramedics, his body temperature was 78 degrees. I have friends throughout the state who are county coroners. As a matter of fact, my brother-in-law has been a county coroner for over 30 years. And I've been led to believe and educated by people who are in this profession that when a body dies, an adult dies, the body loses 1 degree per hour. Normally we sit around 98.6, 97, 98 degrees, right? Living things, right?
Yeah.
Well, if a body was 78, what does that tell you? That means the body had been dead for hours. The coroners have stated this is medical research. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I talk to the professionals. They do this for a living. That's how they determine the time of death or how long the person has been deceased. His body temperature was 78.6 degrees. His eyeballs, his pupils were dilated, and rigor mortis had set in, which means he had been dead for a while. I was led to believe after things that were done to his body, he was instructed by other detainees to drag his body into a shower, clean him up, wash him off, and redress him. When the paramedics arrived, he was lying on his back, handcuffed. They put handcuffs on a dead man. As he was picked up and placed on the gurney, they handcuffed his arms, wrists to the bed. He had no pulse. He had no heartbeat. And even the paramedics gave him a shot. That's a long needle that they inject through your chest cavity into your heart. They gave him a shot of epinephrine. Nothing. They even opened his eyes as wide as they could and shined the light. No response. Nothing. How's a young man, 18 years old, lie dead for almost 24 hours? Sheriff Woods stated to the public that as information became available, they would release it. It's been almost 5 years. We know it's been 4 years.
No release, no information, no press conference.
No, sir. No, sir, nothing. There's no transparency. You know, like I know, we've both been 18 years of age at some point in our lives.
Right.
18-year-olds don't just fall dead unless it's a medical reason. But typically, 18-year-olds don't just fall dead. That young man that you see was a human being. He
Yes.
left a child behind. He was a human being. If he were alive today, Desmond would be 23 years old, 22, 23. He leaves a child behind, brothers, sisters. His mom passed a couple of years ago fighting for justice. She literally grieves herself. When I tell you his mother, Deborah McBride, cried so much that her eyelids got infected, crying because he was her baby. He was her last child.
Mm.
She never lived to see justice. And she was only 51, 52 years old when she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Just what, August of 2023, 2024?
Mm-hmm.
There's been no accountability for his death. I've shown videos of officers physically assaulting detainees unprovoked, choking them, punching them. No repercussions, no consequences. If that was under my administration, he would be charged. He would be terminated. He would be locked up. And I would ensure he never, ever worked in law enforcement or any type of jail ever again. You get one time to betray that trust, and it's a wrap.
You sent me several pictures, and I basically want to put them up. What is this picture of here?
That's a picture of the young lady in the black uniform. That's a picture of the former chief of police, Denise Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle is the current sheriff, Lafayette Woods Jr. Last but not least, that's the county clerk. That's Chandra Taggart. She is the widow of Maurice Taggart. She is the widow.
This guy here. Yeah.
She is the widow of that gentleman right there. Those three right there, let me go on record again. The three that you look at are the ones that covered up his homicide and murdered him. Not figuratively, but literally. The chief of police, she covered it up. The morning, August 30th, 2023, before Maurice Taggart's body was shipped to the state crime lab, the body was still warm. She announced, without all the facts, without knowing that Maurice had been shot, he had 4 bullet holes in his body, stated that his death was a justifiable homicide the morning of, and she was closing the case. When, I ask you, Brian, when have you ever known a chief of police or chief executive law enforcement officer to go public about a homicide without all the facts?
Yeah.
It's never happened before.
Yeah.
When have you known the police to do the prosecuting attorney's job? Isn't it the police job to ascertain the facts, get all the information, build a case file, submit that case file to the prosecutor? The prosecutor, he and or his deputies look at all the information and they determine whether or not charges will be filed. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Now the sheriff, he comes into play because he's had relations, sexual relations with both women on the screen. The woman to the right that I'm looking at, Chandra Taggart, was married to Maurice Taggart. He, the sheriff, was at Maurice's house at 2-something in the morning when he was murdered. Most
Wait a
people,
minute.
I don't know about you, most people are in the bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. If you're not at work, you're at home. He stated, the sheriff stated that he had 2 missed calls from Chandra Taggart at 2:26. So he's saying she called him twice. He missed the call. But in the same breath, I have the recording where the sheriff states that I got the recording where the sheriff called 911 at 2:22. I'm looking at the clock right now. The time is now 8:18. I just hit the back of my hand at 8:18.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pretend I got my hand out and you reach out. Brian, you just slapped my hand at 8:18. But I just called 911 at 8:14 and said, Brian hit me. How's that possible, Brian? You hit me at 8:18, but I called 911 at 8:14. Make it make sense. Yet, the two of the three are running for re-election. You have two murderers running for re-election. Anybody, and I mean absolutely anybody, who aligns themselves with these people are just as corrupt, if not more corrupt. I may be a lot of things, Brian, but my hands aren't bloody. I'm the only individual, I'm the only black man in the state of Arkansas, in Jefferson County, on this very day, September 2nd, 2025, to call the sheriff, the chief executive law enforcement officer, out and call him a murderer. He is a killer. And so is the wife, the county clerk. These people combined are making all three of them combined were making almost $500,000 a year, $300-some thousand a year. They want those positions because of the money. How in the hell can you run for re-election when you murdered your husband, when you helped kill an attorney? How do y'all sleep at night? I'm sure y'all watching this live. As a matter of fact, Brian, I'm being sued by the sheriff. And here's a fact.
You are being sued. You're being sued.
Because I accused him, and I'm still standing on business. Let me say this to you. I have representation, but let me say this to you. You want to know what his whole lawsuit is predicated on?
What is that?
Where I get my information from. He wants to know the deputies' names that disclose information to me. Now, you already know if I give up their names, he's going to terminate them. He's going to terminate them.
And I just need to make sure that I say all of this for me legally is allegedly. So I have to say, even though you can say something different, I'm going to say allegedly. But what you are saying is there are some deputies that work for him that's telling the information, and he's trying to get you to out them, your source, and you're thinking that he's going to fire the deputy for giving the information about his boss.
Wouldn't you? Yeah. Okay. But I don't do that. I die first.
So you are he has sued you legally, and you are still pouting and screaming the same thing, even though you are currently going through a lawsuit from him.
He is a killer. He's a killer. Man, I've got evidence to prove the man was there. To prove that he was there. This man announced on the deputy's body camera, I can show it if I need to, he announced Maurice's death before the medical examiner, before the coroner, before the doctors at the hospital. He made a phone call. To now Judge, then and still is Judge Ernest Brown, and said Maurice was dead before he left the house. Now, my question to you is, so he wears a jacket of, he's a counselor, he's the sheriff, he's a doctor. Who and what gave him the right to announce Maurice Taggart's death before the doctors did? Do I need to show the video? He told Judge Brown he was gone. Most people at 3:30 in the morning are asleep. He pulls out his cell phone. Hey, Judge, you good? Yeah, you good? Yeah. He even spread the rumor saying that Maurice Taggart had a hit list with about 8 people's names on it, which is a lie. They never revealed a hit list because it was not true. It was something to detract from the truth. Lafayette Woods and Chandra Taggart are killers. They are killers, and they're up for re-election. Now, the only people that can affect change are the constituents in the county, in the city, that's sick and tired of being sick and sick of being tired of the tomfoolery. A bunch of Sambos, because Uncle Tom was a good man. A bunch of Sambos in office. They murdered a man. And I'll repeat this and I'll say it again. Let me reiterate this point. And I'm sure you know what I'm about to say is fact. There is no statute of limitation on murder. There's no statute of limitation on murder. But when you have the powers that be that are complicit to a black man's homicide and don't care, this is what you get. Even Maurice Taggart said if they knew what he knew, what he was about to reveal, he said they will bury my ass. And he was dead less than 6 months. So his words came true. He knew he was a dead man walking. Murdered in his own backyard. Shot in the back. Shot in the back. Not once, but twice. Shot in the back.
How many other people are running for the sheriff race this year? Is it just you and the current sheriff, or there somebody?
And the current administration. People are afraid of Lafayette Woods. Lafayette Woods doesn't like me because he knows I have no fear. Have only ambition. What you gonna do? What is he gonna do? Shoot me in my back? Twice? Other than that, there's nothing that he can say or put out about me that's gonna deter me from running for sheriff. If people want transparency, if they want fairness, if they want accountability, if they want consistency, vote me for sheriff. Vote me for sheriff.
How long has he been the sheriff in Jefferson County? How long has he been the sheriff there?
7 years, going on 8 years now.
Okay. And how long are the terms? How long are the terms of sheriffs? Is it 4 years? You have to
4 years.
Okay. So this is his second term that he's seeking.
Yes.
Okay.
No, he'll be seeking the third term.
Okay.
Because he's been there 7 years.
Okay.
So he's seeking the third term.
When is the election?
In March of next year.
Okay.
March of next year.
What do you say to the people that support you? How can they get involved with your movement? How can they get involved with your election? What do they need to do to get involved to make a difference in Jefferson County?
Get out and vote. Allow your voice to be heard. Brian, when I tell you I've received many death threats. This is just some of them. I'm just going to scroll to show you the numbers of death threats from different phone numbers. I've been told, we're going to kill you. We're going to cut your body in pieces. We're going to spill out your blood. We're going to celebrate when you die. We're going to rape your wife. We're going to rape your daughter. We're going to go and dig your deceased mother up. We're going to ejaculate in her mouth. We're going to urinate on her grave. Do I need to keep going with all these death threats? It goes on and on and on and on. But
and you still fear nothing. You still fear nothing.
Why would I? When I got God on my side, when I'm speaking truth, I have no fear. I'm telling you, I have no fear. Like I said before, I'll say it again. I'm willing to die for my convictions. I'm also willing to kill if I have to, but I don't want that blood on my hand. I have a conscience. How do you kill someone and go home and sleep at night as if you ran over a deer or a dog or a cat or a squirrel? They do it.
If you were elected, Mark, in March, what would be the first order of business that you're going to do the first day?
I'm going to clean out that jail. I have an image that I would like to show. It's kind of graphic. It's the torso. I'm gonna edit it because it's showing his buttocks, but I'm going to cut that out. This is the center of his back where Maurice was shot in the back. That's a bullet hole, 9mm. That bullet, when it went into his lower back, came out the right side of his chest cavity. It came out through the areola, the nipple area, the areola. It's Maurice's chest. It hit his liver, hit his lung, and came out. The other bullet went into his shoulder. My question is, how do you murder a man in his own backyard? How do you murder a man in his own backyard? You shoot him in his back, not once, but twice. And you let him bleed to death. Maurice Taggart laid on the ground for 27 minutes, gasping for air. And no one, and I mean absolutely no one, including the police officers that arrived on the scene first, rendered CPR. No one attempted to save Maurice Tack. When one officer attempted to save him, the wife uttered, "Save my son! Save my son!" Fuck that guy. Save my son. The son only had superficial wounds, graze wounds. So do you think a coward of this magnitude deserves to be sheriff? When you help kill a man in his own backyard, you think he deserves to be sheriff? When he helped facilitate a murder in the man's backyard at 2:30 in the morning? And he lied about receiving a phone call from the wife? From the wife. My hands aren't bloody.
So you're saying that you, on the first day, you plan on cleaning out the jail. How many people are you letting go first day?
Let me say this, Brian. I'm not going to come in there and just road dog people. I wouldn't do that. I'm going to do an assessment. I'm going to tell you just like this. Once upon a time, Jefferson County's jail used to be the cleanest in the state. Jefferson County has 75, the state of Arkansas has 75 counties. Has 75 counties. And the Jefferson County jail used to be the cleanest one in the state of Arkansas. Now it's the nastiest one. It's the nastiest one. It is the nastiest, filthiest jail. Let me tell you something, brother. People fret going to the county jail. They would rather be in prison. You can go to the Jefferson County Detention Center on misdemeanors. It could be a felony. It could be for selling drugs. It could be for fleeing. But you'll leave out in a body bag. You think a person should die, should lose their life because they fled from the police, or they got caught selling some drugs, or they stole something, theft of property, or theft by deceiving, deserve the death penalty? This ain't Russia. This ain't Iran. This ain't Iraq. People are literally dying in the jail. They're being beaten in the jail. And the deputies are bringing in the drugs. Let me say it again. The deputies are bringing in the drugs. The sheriff doesn't visit the jail. He does not visit the jail. The person that's over the jail administrator, reports directly to the sheriff. That's the only person he has to answer to. If he doesn't care, you think the sheriff cares? The jail administrator does not care. They're not transparent. If they wanted to clean that jail up, they could. They don't care. That's why I'm running for sheriff. It's past time for a change. I'm tired of people dying. I'm not guaranteeing people that no one is going to ever die in that jail again. But you can damn sure bet your bottom dollar people will be held accountable. They're going to catch a free world charge. And anybody that brings in drugs under my administration will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I wouldn't give a crap if it was my mama. God bless the dead. She would go to jail. At the end of the day, it ain't about like and dislike. This ain't no social media crap. It's about right and wrong. I don't care nothing about politics. I don't care nothing about cliques. I don't care nothing about no sororities. I don't care nothing about no fraternities. I care about righteousness. I care about right and wrong. This is about life and death. And people that's in their relative position has the power to affect life and death. And they've demonstrated over the last 7 years that they don't give a damn. Because when you care, it shows, and it shows when you don't care.
I read something saying that Pine Bluff per capita.
And it's time for a change. So instead of my resting on my laurels, I'm getting up off my ass and I'm doing something about it. Elect me as sheriff. I've been transparent with the people since day one. Why would I change now? Think a title is going to change me? If you literally take the title and the gun from this guy right here, and all you have is a low-class thug. That's it. He's a thug that was elected in office, and he has betrayed the people's trust. He's a low-class thug. They want to talk about me having an expungement when this man should have never been in the position that he's in. Theft by receiving. He has a felony on his record. He has a felony on his record. A felony. Should have never been sheriff. Should have never been sheriff. His partner even accused me of raping 5 or 6 women throughout the state of Arkansas, Brian. Don't know if you know that or not. They said I've raped at least 5 or 6 women in 5 or 6 different counties in the state of Arkansas. So what did I do? I took it upon myself of this year, 2025, January the 21st, I believe. Let me show you some proof. I took it upon myself. I went to the Arkansas State Police, okay? I went to the Arkansas State Police, and I did my own background check. I paid for it. It's been redacted because it shows my social security number. It also shows my mailing address. But I'm going to show you, I'll turn it sideways, and I want you to see this right here. It says, let me see if I can't flip this thing. Hold on. That turns the camera off, but you'll be reading it backwards. It says, Arkansas Criminal History Report. Do you see my name, Brian?
Yes, I see it.
It says Mark Cannon. And right below that, it says, no criminal history found for this subject.
Right.
There's the proof. Yet, they slandered my name by saying I've raped women throughout the state of Arkansas. I paid for that report. I paid for that background check. It says no criminal history found for this subject. Once again, I've never raped a woman. I've never killed anybody. My hands are not bloody. They're clean. My hands are clean.
Let me read.
I may not have law enforcement experience. I can gain it, but I have something more important than law enforcement experience. I have common sense and I have compassion, and that's what's needed in any profession.
And integrity. With the public. And integrity.
When you're dealing with people that have entrusted their faith in you, you need to utilize some common sense and some compassion. I have that. And you can't buy that at Walmart or Target.
LaTanya Morgan is saying there definitely needs to be accountability.
I can't hear you, Brian.
Okay. You got me? Can you hear me?
I'm not muted, so I cannot hear you.
Let's see. I don't know if can you guys hear me? Let me guys know if you can hear.
Can you hear me? If you can, just throw your hand up, but I cannot hear you.
I can hear you, but
I cannot hear you. I can go out and come back in if you want me to.
Let's do that. Let's do that. While Mark is going out to come in, let me read some of these comments. This has been, for those of you guys that are just in, I'm talking to Mark Cannon. He is running for sheriff of Jefferson County. Let's see if he can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. For those of you guys that are tuning in, I'm talking to Mark Cannon. He is running for sheriff of Jefferson County. I'm getting ready. He has been talking with me for over an hour or so. I'm reading some comments. Kanisha is saying, woo, shit, I want to vote, but I'm outside myself. LaTanya Morgan is saying there definitely needs to be accountability. Marcella Town Winston is saying hello. So let me ask you this, Mark. I read somewhere where Jefferson County or Pine Bluff per crime is higher than the capital of Little Rock. Why is there so much crime in Pine Bluff? What's going on down there with the crime?
Well, I believe in stats, okay? I believe in numbers. We lie every day, okay? But numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. You have to look at, you have people that have been placed in a position of authority, position of power,
Right.
that don't care about what's going on unless it's knocking on their front door. They're not affected. They're not impacted.
Right.
I asked that whenever there's a loss in life, someone loses a loved one, I feel that all elected officials should reach out to the deceased person's family and pay their respects, give their condolences. How
Right.
often do you have murders? One year we had 28 homicides. One summer we had 8 homicides. Of the 8, 7 were under the age of 20. So we're talking about babies
Right.
being murdered, casualties of war. So if it's not knocking on their front door, they don't care. You have to give people, let me tell you what's missing in Jefferson County, Pine Bluff, period. It's a 4-letter word, HOPE. When you have no hope, Brian, you have nothing. When you've lost hope, you have nothing. Give the people a reason to be excited. Give the people a reason to want to get out and vote. Be the change that you want to see. It's not hard. For me, it's not about the money. I've had money and I've lost money. I've gained it back. I've lost everything. I've gained it back. I will not stop. I will not quit. I don't like to be negative, but if I don't, should I not win the election, I'm still not going to stop pursuing justice because it's a necessary good that has to take place.
Right.
In the history of Jefferson County, no one, and I mean absolutely no one, and Jefferson County, Pine Bluff was established in 1824. Number one, we've never had a black prosecuting attorney in 201 years.
Right.
And in the 201 years that Pine Bluff has been around, no one, and I mean absolutely no one, and to yours truly, has ever called out the elected officials by name on a public platform or even in the newspaper. Yours truly, from the sheriff to the county judge to the justice of the peace, to the chief of police, to the mayor, to the detectives, to the police officers, to the sheriff deputies. You're looking at the only one that's ever called them out and held their hand to the fire. No one has ever called them out on their wrongdoings. I guess because people, they fear. I have no fear. I have no fear. None whatsoever. You can only kill me one time. You know, I can only die. I've experienced, I know what death feels like. So I have no fear.
Do you think the people in Pine Bluff is ready for change? They obviously they say people don't. Change is difficult for some people to get around. Do you feel like the people from Pine Bluff want to change? Do you feel like they're tired of people being killed in the jail? They're tired of no transparency in their police departments, in their county departments. Do you feel like oftentimes I asked a politician this, sometimes we can run thinking we have a really good chance. Do you feel like the people of Jefferson County is ready to invoke change?
I feel that the time is now. God's spirit is working with me. The time is now. I never envisioned on becoming a sheriff or being in law enforcement ever. But there's a necessary need for people like myself. And what you have to do, what I'm going to do, is surround myself with people like me of the same ideology and hold them accountable, as well as them holding me accountable. People are tired, Brian. Let me say this right here. 2 words, silent majority. A lot of people are ready for a change. They're not going to be public and say it. They're going to let their voting do all the talking for them. People are coming at me left and right. Black, white, Hispanic, Asians, old people, young people, middle-aged people. They are tired. Mothers are tired of their sons and daughters being assaulted in the jail. Mothers are tired of not being able to have access to their sons and daughters in the jail after they've gotten word from another detainee that you need to check on your son. He's been stabbed, he's been cut, and then you call the jail, they don't answer. And if you do have someone that does answer, they talk to you like you're a piece of crap on the ground, or a piece of dirt, or a piece of gum on the bottom of their boot. They tell you lies. Well, I just checked on so-and-so, so-and-so. I just checked on detainee Brian Stewart. He's okay. But they're not telling the family that Brian was rushed to the hospital an hour ago because his orbital socket was broken and he lost 3 teeth and he was stabbed 3 times. They don't tell you that. And anytime a detainee is about to die, if his or her injuries are so severe, guess what the sheriff will do? He will OR them. You know why? So that the county is not responsible for their medical bills. Think it's a game? Ask Jackie McCoy's family. Ask Brother Johnson's family. In April of 2024, he was laying in the corner like this, stiff as a board. His torso from the stomach down, his legs were black, blue, and purple. He had been dead for 12 hours. What did the sheriff department release? Go back to the sheriff department's page and go back to Mr. Johnson's account. April the 12th of 2024, they announced by way of social media that the deputies performed CPR for 45, 55 minutes. I'm no doctor. I'm no ENT. I'm no paramedic. But common sense will tell you, you cannot perform CPR on a body that has rigor mortis, livor mortis, rigid and stiff. No heartbeat, no pulse, nothing. Y'all want us to believe that you perform CPR on a man that had been dead for 12, 13 hours. Make it make sense.
What do you want the public to do to get involved into your campaign? What do you need the constituents of Jefferson County to do if they are tired of the current administrative, if they are tired of no transparency, if they are tired of covering up crimes? What do you want the public of Jefferson County to do?
I want them to get up. I want them to stand up. I want them to go to the voting booths. I want them to go to the pools, voting pools. I want them to vote. Vote because it's past time for a change. I need them to stand erect. That's what I need for them to do. Get up, stand up, and let your voice be heard. Let your voice be known. That's what I need for you to do. If you're for what's right, and most folk that I know are Christians, and they go to church every single Sunday, and they attend Bible study, and they talk about the word. And anyone with common sense knows that talking about the word and living it is 2 entirely different things. So if you're tired, show that you care. Vote Mark Cannon for sheriff. It's past time for a change. I may be a lot of things, and though I'm far from perfect, my hands are not bloody. I've never taken another person's life. Never. And the difference between myself and the current administration is I give a damn. I care. I have a conscience. So if you support me, you don't have to be public. You don't have to be brash and bold with your comments regarding me. Show that you support me by your vote. Because when you elect me as sheriff, I promise you, I'm going to reopen his case. I'm going to reopen this case. We say our lives matter. His life mattered. His life certainly mattered to his mother, Mrs. Nina Taggart, a senior citizen. His life mattered. You want justice? You want me to get justice for what happened to Maurice on the night of August 30th, 2023? Vote for me. Vote for me. And let me send out a warning shot to whomever becomes the new prosecuting attorney. I ask one thing of you. I make one request. Are you willing to work in conjunction with me to reopen Maurice Taggart's homicide case? Because we all know no one has been prosecuted. No one has spent a day in jail. Everyone that's involved gave conflicting accounts of what took place. I want justice. I want this guy right here rocking an orange jumpsuit. I want him in prison. That's where he needs to be. I want the county clerk in prison. That's where she needs to be. Anybody can run for these offices. All is required is a clean background and a high school diploma. $100,000 a year. Easy. Easy peasy. And here's another little nugget. As an elected official, you're only required to show up for work once per month. So you're only working 12 days a year. $100,000 doesn't sound too bad.
That's good money. That's good money, 12 days a year.
Thank you. That's all that's required. Y'all want change? Let's get them out. New people, young folks, new ideas, new ideology. Out with the old, in with the new.
How does someone get in contact with you? Do you have a website up? Do they contact you through social media? Do you give your cell phone? How?
Social media.
Okay.
My number is on my business. It's on my page. They can always contact me. My number is there. I've always been transparent. Like I said, when I know, they will know. Okay. And if I don't get everybody that's reaching out to me, blame it on my head and not my heart, because you know as well as I do, I'm all for what's right. I will drop everything. I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning and get up out of my bed and come to your aid.
And I will say this: you did that for my niece, so I can speak. I can speak that because you did that for my niece. So I know the work that you're doing down in Jefferson County. I know your heart. I know when I picked up the phone and asked you, you didn't hesitate to pick up the phone and do as I asked. So you did it for me and my family. I don't think that I've ever told you thank you, thank you, thank you. The results were not great, but we did what we had to do. Thank you.
We made some noise.
Yeah.
We made some noise. We brought attention. Miss Jade, we brought attention.
I do believe that your way is different. I believe that you can win 3 different ways, right? I believe that you could be the first person to do something. I believe that you could be the best person to do something. But the last way that I believe that you can win is the win that everybody can win. And the way that I believe that you're going to win. You're very different, Mark. You don't give a care who you offend. You do your due. And that's to be commended of you. You don't scare. You don't back down. You are in a full live lawsuit as we speak, and you're still saying the same thing. So I wish you luck. Obviously, I told you from the beginning that I would support your campaign. I wanted to come on and have a conversation with you. I think there'll be room for, as it gets closer to the election come next year, that we should come back. A lot of things are going to change. Sure. You have an invite to come back to the platform as it gets closer to the voting time of Jefferson County to go punch the ticket, to come back and let's have a conversation. I've only asked to talk to 2 people down there in Jefferson County. I wanted to do extraordinary people doing extraordinary things, and I've talked to one of them tonight is you. I'm working on the other person in Jefferson County that I want to talk to.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I got a request from you. When I win, I want you to come to my celebration.
Oh man, that does nothing. Now I always stop by then, and I've kind of put you on the spot. I always end every On the Level with B Level by giving you an opportunity to ask me a question. I've asked you a lot of questions today. Do you have any questions for me? Do you have anything? Nothing is off limit. Do you have any questions for me? I always try to end my conversation with allowing the guest to ask me a question.
Well, let me ask you this question. One of 2, rather. Some arrows and flames have been thrown at you. Why have you been persistent? Why do you continue to press forward?
Well, a lot like you. This platform, I tell people all the time that just like the Voice for the Justice, Unpacking the Baggage is the people's platform, right? I have been blessed to be popular. I have been blessed to be, people know me, but I speak for the voiceless. I never thought that this platform was going to be used for myself. And 100 episodes, we are doing the work of the people. We're having conversation that the people want to have conversation for. Obviously, popularity comes with the price, right? People don't always think that you're doing right, but I do share your opinion that I know what God has for me. I know how God made me. So I can only walk how God made me. I can't walk and I can only walk how God will have me to walk. And so in doing the work, it's not popular. That's how I know you get a lot of arrows from the back. You get a lot of people talk a lot of shit about you. I know it comes with the territory when you're doing God's work. What I will say is God's work is always easy. I never have to struggle to get to do anything because his work, when you're living in your purpose, and I truly believe that this is your purpose, but when you're living in your purpose, it comes easy. It's not hard at all. So I just try to every day live in
Wow.
my purpose.
Wow. Um, there are other people who are doing extraordinary things, Brian. I'm curious to know why me. I mean, I'm just a simple guy.
Man,
I'm a simple man.
Mark, before I started having conversation with you, I'm a good judge of character, right? And I won't go too far to say that I know all of the things that you said tonight were true. I always say allegedly because I wasn't there. But I do know some shit don't look right there in Jefferson County. And I just don't I'm not there every day. I don't live there. I don't reside there. But I know some stuff don't look right in Jefferson County. And I know that you have a different way and a different approach, but the work is the same. You're doing the work. I've seen you be on live with mothers who don't have a way, don't have any place to turn to, whose child has been molested. I've seen you doing the work. So regardless of how you do it, sometimes, people might agree that your way, your technique is not the way that they would have you to do it, but you're doing the work. And so I feel like what you're doing, there's a need for Jefferson County. I have never, here's the deal. Most every police agency, when there is a killing, you do see press conference. I have never seen, you brought this to my attention tonight. I have never seen a Jefferson County press conference. So is that a reason why they're not been transparent? I don't know. But I've never seen a Jefferson County press conference that are telling the facts of the state. This person died in our custody. This person was seen at 9:05. This person took their life. I've never seen an accountability press conference. And so I
Well,
believe that you're doing the work. I'm hoping that you're successful. I'm concerned that Jefferson County, here's my concern, is that Jefferson County don't really want to do shit about what's going down there. Oftentimes they won't get their butts up and go to the polls. They won't make a difference. I'm hoping Jefferson County makes a difference. I'll do anything I
thank you,
possibly
Brian.
can to help you.
I want to say this right here. I want to say thank you to the Jefferson County Sheriff deputies that respect me. I love you. I appreciate you. I want to say thank you to the Pine Bluff Police Department officers and those of high ranks and lower ranks and patrolmen that respect me. I truly appreciate you. After all, I'm not your adversary. I'm actually your ally. I'm for what's right. So I can't put on a facade and say I'm for what's right and bash the police. I don't do that. I'm for what's right. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, old, young, rich, poor, upper class, lower class, no class. I'm still going to help and or assist you and be for what is right. And for that, I'm grateful and I thank you so much. And I thank you for your support.
Well, again, I said you have an open invite to come back as it gets closer. I told you, and I didn't do this publicly, but I told you I was going to support your campaign and your movement. I called you and I told you that, remember?
Yes, you did. Thank
I'm
you.
going to support
And I
your
appreciate
movement. I'm going to support your candidacy because I believe in you. It has nothing to do.
Thank
I
you, bro.
believe in you. So I'm going to show my support for you, and you have an open invitation to come back. You might piss a little people
Okay.
off, but you but you do the work. Some of your lives, I can say, Mark, is pretty damn funny. I don't know. Are you a
Well,
comedian on the? I mean, you're pretty damn funny now. I mean, you
let me say this: better to be pissed off than to be pissed on.
All right. Well, listen, you guys that are in Jefferson County, no, seriously, y'all make sure y'all get in touch with Mark. Y'all make sure y'all get to the voting polls in November and vote Mark Cannon for sheriff. He does a lot of good down there in Jefferson County. He is not afraid to stand up. He is not afraid to be transparent. He is not afraid to do what's right. So you guys make sure y'all go get to the polls, get to the polls, get to the polls, and vote. Mark, thank you this evening for spending an hour and a half with me. I really, really appreciate you, sir. And I will be following you.
Well,
I'm only a phone call away, and you have an invitation to come back.
thank you, Brian.
Good
Have
night.
a good evening. Thank you. Love you. Good night.
For both of you guys, before we leave, I need to tell you guys about the 100th episode. Let me put this back up here. On this Sunday at 5 p.m., we are doing our episode at 5 o'clock, not 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock at the Versailles Clubhouse, 4401. 4401. Let me make sure I'm hitting my mark. Don't forget that we're going to do our episode at 5 p.m. and we're doing a live taping, which means you can come for free. It's free admission, it's free hors d'oeuvre, and it's a free live taping. The 100th episode, let me put my face up here. The 100th episode is a really big deal to be 100 episodes in the podcasting world. It's almost like a new business. They say new businesses don't last a year. So that's the equivalent of getting to the 100th episode in the podcasting world. A lot of people have started this podcasting thing and they're out of podcasting business within 3 months. We, our team, Andrea, Tristan, Anthony, Jayla, Candy, who's now a part of it, they have worked really, really hard to week in and week out give you content. And I like I said again, this is your podcast. This is not mine. I'm just a host. We're just a host, but this is your podcast. The last thing that I need to say before I leave is come Sunday, we have a special episode with our mayor, Frank Scott Jr., a special edition of the On the Level with B-Level and the UTB podcast to celebrate 100 episodes. We're going to have a special episode this Monday at 7:30. We are normally not on at 7:30. We're going to have the mayor, Frank Scott Jr. He's going to spend some time with me having some conversation to celebrate our 100th episode. And our next thing I need to tell you before we get out of here is we're starting something new, Straight Talk, No Chaser, which is going to debut on this Friday. It is a conversation, a storytelling conversation between me. I might talk about anything, experiences that I go through, experiences that you're going through. We are going to continue to be in front of you at UTB Podcast, okay? We are going to continue to do great things in our community and around the state. Straight Talk, No Chaser, the debut is this Friday at 12 noon. It won't be a full episode. It will be a 15, 20-minute story time situation on this Friday. So I think that's it. That is it. I want to see you guys. I want to see you guys Sunday at 5 p.m. at the Versailles apartment complex, 4401 East 46 in North Little Rock. We're going to start at 5 p.m. It is free to the public. Without further ado, I will end this live and we will see you Sunday at the Versailles Apartments, 5 o'clock for the Unpacking the Baggage podcast live taping. Good evening and good night.
Had another rough conversation.